Come on. Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello. Yes, we're making that video.
Yes.
But first of all, please subscribe.
Indeed. And please go to thatpedalshowstore.com and grab some merch.
Do that, it's the main way we fund this show. Right, so something fairly monumental happened in the last few weeks.
Yes.
Which is?
Which had the launch of the Chase Bliss Brothers AM, the collaboration between Chase Bliss and Analog Man.
And this is interesting. Why?
Because it's based on the King of Tone, one of the most heralded overdrive pedals out there.
Heralded.
Heralded, do you like that?
I like what you've done there.
And like certainly from the early years
And a
of
vulgar
TPS,
flex, here's another King of Tone.
I know. We were using the King of Tone like early on, so I've just checked out my pedal. That's from October 07.
Right.
Is it a version 4? I'm not quite sure, but I've got the like a 4-jack input mod on it, but I've been using that, less consistently lately, but certainly for most of my gigs.
Absolute staple, isn't it?
Well, I never found a pedal to replace it.
And we don't have to tell you about the King of Tone folklore. In fact, go and watch Rhett Shull's video where he discusses the FOMO aspect of the King of Tone with Josh from JHS. It's good.
Yeah,
it's a very sober discussion of it. But so again, there is another beautiful mini documentary shot that includes Joel Korte from Chase Bliss. Hey Joel, hope you're doing well. And of course, Analog Man, Mike Piera.
Yes.
Just both exceptional human beings, both utterly committed to analog heart in pedals.
Yep, completely.
Beautiful circuit design, doing it the way they want to do it, not bowing down to the kind of corporate pressure of huge production and all of that. Just very, very much their own vision for how they want to do it. And as such, I think this is a beautiful collaboration.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Was so excited when Joel said this is happening and couldn't, quite believe it. Because obviously we spent time with Analog Man as well. I mean, we know both Joel and Analog Man. We spent time with both of them, but we filmed with Mike at his studio.
Yeah, in Connecticut.
In Connecticut. And I mean, Mike is a purist.
Is he the OG?
He's absolutely there as one of the OGs, completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And we know, and we've seen firsthand the effort that goes into making a King of Tone. It is incredible. And, they sound exceptional.
But it's not just the King of Tone, is it? It's everything else that Analog Man does.
Absolutely.
Just the highest integrity, single vision, and we are, as you can tell, hugely respectful of the work.
Yes. So when I heard this was happening, I was really excited because of, who they are, but the idea of putting a King of Tone into the Chase Bliss platform, far out.
Yeah, because, well, we'll get onto it, but for context, the reason we have the Beano boost on the board is because there's one of those in the Brothers AM as well.
Exactly.
The reason we have the Blues Breaker on the board is because the King of Tone is somewhat distantly born of the Blues Breaker, and that's an original Blues Breaker. The Prince of Tone is there as the kind of half a King of Tone.
Correct. Yeah. So Mike makes these in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Yeah. And in a more production version of the King of Tone, so that he can make these in decent numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've done a show before comparing 2 Prince of Tones to 1 King of Tone, if you want to go and watch that. And a pedal that we should have had long ago, but we haven't, the MXR Duke of Tone, which is another collaboration Mike did a while ago with MXR, which is basically a Prince of Tone.
In a mini format.
In a mini enclosure. So we'll get to ask all those questions today, based around having a really close look at the Brothers and what it can do.
Yeah.
Brothers AM, sorry, should I say. Dan?
Yes.
If you'll permit me.
Of course.
I haven't played with it yet. I've had a brief look at the manual, but just a flick.
Yeah.
I'm going to explain how it works by looking at the top panel, and Dan is going to say true or false.
Okay.
Okay?
I like it.
Should we treat it like a game show?
Yeah. Come on then.
Right. So in the King of Tone,
Yes.
you've got two sides,
Correct.
which can be either boost, overdrive, or distortion.
Yes.
In the Brothers AM,
Yes.
you've got two sides,
Yes.
which can be either boost, overdrive, or distortion.
Correct, Amondo. Ding, ding, ding.
This has got to be the treble booster.
Correct.
In the middle, it's off.
Correct.
That's one sound.
That's correct.
That's a different sound.
That's right.
Noticed I haven't committed to what those different sounds are.
If you have, but have a look at the graphic and tell me if you think you can work out.
This one more mid-rangey, that one brighter.
Brighter. Is it like a little sun?
There you go.
So it's bright. There you go.
That was easy enough. You can stack the order of them, so they can be stacked that side into that side, or that side into that side.
I don't know if you can switch the order of them.
Okay, we got to check that. So does one always go into two?
I think one always goes into two.
Color coding on the top panel,
Yes.
really great. Yellow,
Yes.
volume, tone, and gain.
Yes.
Pink,
Pink.
volume, tone, and gain.
Yep.
And this is going to have something to do with presets.
Correct.
On the back, there's 15 million dip switches,
That's right.
as per Chase Bliss standard, which means you can use expression pedal control or MIDI
Yep.
to control certain things, such as gain, volume, tone,
Exactly.
all of that.
Yep. And you can control via MIDI. You can control everything, and have presets. Now there are 4 presets already in there. There's a bank switch on the back, so you can switch between 2 different banks. But the little toggle switch gives you 2 presets, and if you have the toggle switch in the middle, you're in live settings. So whatever's going on in the knobs, that's what you're hearing.
So if you want to change a preset, you flick the switch,
Correct.
one preset, the other preset,
Yep.
live in the middle. So you've
Correct.
got, without changing anything on the back of the pedal, you've got 3 sounds at your feet,
Exactly that.
as 3 combinations of 2 sides of the pedal
Yes.
and a treble booster.
Correct.
And finally, if this isn't too much information, there's a secondary function there.
Mm-hmm.
So internally in the King of Tone, there's a presence control,
That's right. It's a very important feature of the King of Tone.
which they suggest you start with at 0.
Yep.
How do you change it?
Well, in the King of Tone, there's little
You got to take
tiny
the back
middle,
off.
take back off. In this one, if you see where it says tone,
Yeah.
if I want to change the presence, I hold down the foot switch on the side that I want to change the presence of and change the tone control.
Great. What have I missed?
I think you've got it. That really is all there is to it.
That's a UI test, all right? Because as you'll know, regular viewers of the show will know it does my nutting when stuff is hard to understand.
Yeah.
I don't think that's hard to understand.
No, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Let's see how we get on then. Where do you want to start then?
I think we should start. Let's just whip through the sounds from the Blues Breaker, King of Tone, Prince of Tone, MXR, and we'll just hear them and just hear this, where they're similar, where
Right.
they verge, and then let's get into the brothers.
Blues Breaker then. Bless it.
Amazing. We've only recently discovered this, really, haven't we?
Yeah, the original one.
The original one.
Come on then.
Unreal. Okay, so the amps we have today, we just a couple of old scrappy things we found lying around.
We thought we should roll out the red carpet because
Yes.
this is really important.
Yeah.
The purple carpet, should we say.
I wonder what the settings are.
Yeah.
And it's silliness.
Our 2 favourite amps, Dan's matchless HC30 on a 112 cab, my 2-Rock Classic Reverb Signature on a bit of a Bitzer cab that I've recently discovered. It's basically a tone tubby cab, and it's got a G12, 65, and the WGS equivalent of that. The details are in the description if you want to read it. But it's basically a remake of a mid-60s Bassman cab, but ported. Oh my God.
Okay, so just the amps together. Go on.
Just remarkably similar.
Yeah.
For what you were playing
Yeah.
in that mode, I am consistently knocked out how much I love the Blues Breaker.
Yeah.
Briefly, hang on.
There's a little bit more detail in the King of Tone for me compared to the Blues Breaker, which I really dig. And I think especially with these amplifiers, I've turned the presence down a little bit in my one. But, I mean, there's not a lot in it.
Not for those settings.
Yeah,
obviously
exactly.
with the King of Tone, then you've got a load of other stuff you can do, not least the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it for the Blues Breaker pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
We will get onto stacking in a bit. I have to say, so far, I'm liking the Duke of Tone.
Yeah.
It has the presence.
Yeah.
It has a lot of what we like. Right, let's have a quick delve into the brothers then. Right.
So let's
Side
go.
one.
Let's go. Here we go. So side one.
Right, what have you done?
So I've gone into the middle section here.
Yeah, so now we're just live.
Now we're just live.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. You have a play, and I'll dial it in.
You what?
You have a play.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll
sure.
dial it in.
Where's the present set currently?
Let's have a look. So now it's 0.
So lots and lots and lots of presence and clarity and all of that. Do the same thing. Let me have a little shimmy shimmy.
It's all in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there would have been some duffers in there as well, and some huge level changes as you go from the distortion, overdrive and boost mode in each channel, as it were, in each side. Because the nature of the clipping's fundamentally different, right? If you go from a distortion to a boost, it's going to naturally be louder. So you just need to dial all that into your presets or the sounds you're setting up.
Yeah.
But, oh man. So what it doesn't have
Right.
at all is anything in the way of scoopy mids and all that.
No.
It's not in that world.
Not at all.
It's always a nicely mid-present
Yeah. Yeah, it's
thing.
a thing where you'll be heard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a big way.
Yeah. So what's really interesting for me, because I haven't used my King of Tone for, it must be a year. With the stuff that I've been doing, I've had a few other things. But as soon as I heard this and how to play, went straight on the board. And it was like, oh, this is what I've been missing. I think the form factor just made it a tiny bit more easier to live with. But then the option of being able to switch things.
The treble booster is
It's wonderful.
really serious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful. And that's a sound that I really dig.
For those of, we'll get into the treble booster in a sec. For those of you who maybe aren't that au fait with treble boosters, those of you who are, forgive me. But if you're not, the sound of a treble booster alone, oh, that's interesting. With it off, will the treble booster function?
No.
Just try it, Seth.
So the treble booster is only associated with side one.
Yeah.
And it sits before side one.
So it's not a completely independent treble booster.
No, that's right.
It has to be on. Yeah, okay. A treble booster into a clean amp can be quite an unpleasant thing, for example. Far out. Two Rock is barking today. The Two Rock is absolutely barking today. Yeah, I mean, you might love that sound, you might not, but where it really comes into its own is where you use it into a pedal that's already overdriving, for example. And that will. Oh, I'm losing plexure left, right, and centre today, Daniel. That'll take you to your kind of, if you like this kind of thing. That really, really vocal, we might think of Mick Ronson, we might think of super, super crazy vocal. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian May.
Yeah.
That thing.
Think about him. So what you've essentially got is that. That's Mike's treble booster, by the way. Beano boost. Into this. And this switch on here gives you lots of bass, or at least a lot more low mid.
A lot more open or a little bit more. But the middle position is the original.
Yeah, so
original Beano.
We've got two positions on the brothers.
Yeah, you've got a brighter position and a less bright.
Killer.
And you can dial in the treble booster. There are some pots, if you take the back off, you can tweak the treble booster a little bit.
Internally in the Brothers AM?
In the Brothers.
Oh, wow. God, it really is
It's remarkable. I mean, you see that wonderful documentary they did where they took Mike to Japan and went and found a bunch of old, diodes and transistors and stuff. and where Mike has sat there with the PCB just going, wow, it's all on there. Like, it's amazing.
Before we do some sound comparisons then, I've got a couple more questions. Expression pedal control.
Yep.
Forget MIDI just for a second. So if you plug an expression pedal in like we have currently, you can assign that expression pedal to do a bunch of functions based off the back.
Yeah.
Can you switch the treble booster on and off?
With the expression pedal?
Yeah.
No.
You can't do that, not as a latching...
No. So there are two sets of dip switches on the back.
Yeah.
One is the expression pedal, which you can turn on any of the knobs, and then you can set the minimum and maximum levels. The treble booster you can turn on via MIDI as part of a preset. So in MIDI, everything is saved. The position of the knobs, the position of the dip switches, everything is saved as a preset in MIDI.
The MIDI jack can also be used to bypass channel 2
Yes.
with external pedal. So you could plug in any normally open momentary foot switch using a TS, tip and sleeve.
Yep.
So a mono cable.
Yep, it's a mono cable.
And it takes control automatically. So you can use the MIDI jack to turn side 2 on and off.
Yeah.
If you wanted to bury it in your board.
Yeah, and that's what I've done.
Yeah, okay. Good. All right. Flipping neck, man.
It's a monster. It really is. It's a wonderful... the fact that they've been able to do all this but get the sonics, I think it's wonderful. But
Can we demonstrate one
expression pedal thing?
expression pedal
Absolutely.
thing?
Okay, so...
I don't mind what it is.
All right, so let's have a look at... let's get this gain going, and we'll just control the gain level,
Cool.
right? So all I've done is on the dip switches that control the expression pedal function, I've just turned on gain 1.
Right.
So that we can now use the expression pedal to control the pot.
So it's
gain 1
basically going to be controlling this pot.
pot.
Yeah?
Exactly.
So you can assign any control.
You can assign all of them all at once.
Yeah.
And have the knobs going.
So
Yeah.
if you wanted to assign gain and volume,
Yeah.
man, that's great. So you could even, you've basically got a master volume in there as well.
Completely.
So it's
Yep.
your volume pedal.
Yep.
In the way that some people would use, for example, run of overdrive pedals, volume pedal, and then wet effects in the way that some people like to do it.
Yeah.
That could do that job.
Completely. And
That's killer.
but things like
I mean, obviously the tone will change a bit because if you're turning the volume of the pedal up and down, the tone will change. a bit,
yeah,
but
but you can do things like have the gain control of side 1 and control the master of side 2 and have it so that you can clean up, you can turn the gain down but adjust the volume of side 2.
Oh, man,
It's brilliant. It's really brilliant.
that is really killer. Okay, hopefully we've covered the features, and it's not. If you want to really understand that, read the manual or go and watch their demo of it. But what do you want to hear then?
Gotta hear the King of Tone next to it.
Okay,
I mean, that's my benchmark for everything.
so get your favourite sound on the King of Tone then.
All right.
Dan's favourite sound on the King of Tone. You heard it here almost first.
Okay. So I've always used side 1 and side 2 together.
Yeah, so overdrive on side 1, boost on side 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just use the boost as a bit of just to add a bit more harmonics and
Show
and
us, Dan,
stuff.
show us.
Okay, so here's just the side 1, the King of Tone. But now, if I kick...
Is that okay? Because I did turn the gain up ever so slightly, but are you happy with that?
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Good.
I mean, the way that I would play it is generally quite vivacious.
Right.
So it keeps together so well when I'm jumping around like an idiot. But side 2, if I kick that in, you hear the mids. It's not a massive mid jump, but it just lifts a little bit. That's me all day.
Right. Well, that's basically where you've got it set then. Overdrive, boost. Now, we're not expecting the pop tapers to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's start there, shall we?
Yep.
About right, aren't I? Have I got anything wrong?
It's good. 2 o'clock.
So what Dan did part of the way through there was he changed the presence, brought the presence up quite considerably on the Brothers AM.
I went too far on that, I think.
But that changed the game totally, because before the Brothers were sounding more closed in and a bit more mid-focused, chewy, shall we say. And then as soon as you open that presence up, it really opened out.
That's the magic for me.
Shows you the scope in the damn thing, because to do that in the King of Tone, you'd have to take the back off and do it.
Yeah.
And obviously we're not expecting them to sound A, exactly alike, or B, for the knob positions to be exactly alike.
Yeah.
But goodness me, it's a good flavour, isn't it?
What I love about my King of Tone is in there. You know what I mean? It's not going to sound identical, but it's the response that the King of Tone has that's really special, that has as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I love my treble, as you know, and are paying for. But that has it. That has that response off the pick attack. It's a wonderful thing.
It is really cool. Let's try something completely different.
Okay. So one thing that the King of Tone is famous for is the boost circuit.
Okay.
Loads of people just love the boost. So what I want to do is just get a really nice boost sound up and then get a sound on the blues breaker and then use the brothers to boost the blues breaker.
Ah, some stacking.
Yes. So here we go. Here's the...
So just the boost side of the Korte.
Exactly.
Do you mind if I set the amps up ever so slightly differently?
Completely.
I just want to get a bit more love going in the amps. Because
We can... Let's do that.
The 2-rock is so headroomy at the moment.
Okay.
It's like, I think,
It's hurty.
well, it's a bit hurty, but I also think the point of boost is to get the amps overdriving a bit,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, for sure.
So let me just take some of the headroom out of the 2-rock and give a bit more front end to that.
That is a glorious noise. Alrighty.
My left ear's just giving up a bit. So I've set the 2-rock so that it's less headroomy, got more overdrive. So if you hit both amps right now. So now we're going to get the effect of a boost into an amp that's already overdriving a little bit.
Okay. Let's hit the KOT.
Yeah, go for it. there's more bottom end in the Brothers than in the Prince of Tone.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we managed to get a boost sound.
Yeah. I mean, I dig it.
Weren't we gonna stack something?
Yeah. So what I want to do, there's our boost sound.
Yeah.
Let's get a sound out of the bass breaker, blues breaker, and then having the boost after it, just to lift it and give it all the love. I mean, man, straight out of the bat, that just sounds unbelievable. So this is what the KOT boost does after the blues breaker, right?
It has that frequency that's going to get you heard.
Yeah, completely.
100%. Now, that might be a problem in today's world because the audibility is something that's becoming a problem for guitar players. And my goodness me, that is the right set of frequencies to really get you heard.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something absolutely heresy level.
Go on then.
I prefer the Brothers AM to the King of Tone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not as dyed in the wool about the KOT as Dan is.
Yeah.
I prefer it. I prefer the range of sounds. I actually prefer the way it's EQ'd.
Where the mid sits.
Yeah, which of course, my KOT, in a vulgar display of vulgarity, doesn't sound the same as Dan's, even though they're configured more or less the same.
Yeah, that's true.
They do sound a little different.
Yeah. I don't know where the presence on yours is set, but yeah, they do sound different.
Yeah, mine. I always have mine at minimum because I don't like the extra presence, but the overdrive character is different.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
And my second favourite is actually the Duke of Tone.
Yeah.
In this test just today, I prefer it to the Prince of Tone.
It does sound a little bit fatter, doesn't it?
Well, it sounds more open to me, actually. But then the thing is with these things, right, you've got three modes. In the KOT, in the King of Tone and the Brothers AM, you've got three modes in two sides. You've got 6 modes, basically. In the Prince of Tone and in the Duke of Tone, you've got 3 modes. Mm-hmm. So the sheer scope of available sounds from each one is colossal.
Yeah.
Plus, those controls are so highly interactive.
Yeah, yeah.
I dare say we could set most of them up to sound broadly similar. But flaming heck, man.
It's an amazing thing.
Out the park.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah. Dave.
Now Joel's going to have a massive wait list. I mean, there already is. Don't get me wrong. They sold out the first batch.
Yeah.
Almost instantly, and the second are on the way. So.
Yeah. But no, there is something about it. I think where I was using, funnily enough, using the Fox and the Lazy J together when I was originally using the King of Tone or like loads, I've got a smaller rig now for some gigs that I'm doing, which has the Princeton and the J, and there's a lot more mids in there.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the Brothers, it does sit in a place that's very happy. You know, I still adore the King of Tone. I think it's wonderful. But the Brothers straight on the board,
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
It's really great. It's really, really great.
There we go.
Cool. I think we're a bit. I'm definitely a bit volumed out
Yes,
after that,
I hear you.
because of not just because of the volume, but because of the particular frequency at which it delivers.
Sure. Yeah. Bit hurty.
And
Bit hurty.
we don't often use the 2-rock in normal videos these days for lots of reasons, and I just forget.
I love it.
How insane it actually is.
Yeah, astonishing.
But there we are.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Massive thank you to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed some merch.
Please do. It's the primary way we fund this show, and we're very grateful. And at the time of recording, de minimis to the USA is still in place, so you can buy something for $800 and under if you're an individual buying from us and not get any tax today. That might change tomorrow, but just check if de minimis is still in place. If it is, please buy loads of stuff from That Pedal Show store. And don't wait to see what's going to happen like the whole of America is currently doing. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you to our preferred retailers, all the details of which are below in the description. And, of course, a massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support. That was really fun. Join us on Monday for viewers' comments and questions, and let us know what you think.
Yeah. It'd be fascinating.
Yeah.
Truly fascinating.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.